Hi Fad Campers, it's Grace here and I have some new stand updates I'd love to tell you about. If you're based in the UK, I will be doing some dates in July and August and I'd love to see some of you there. I'll be in Leeds doing a work in progress with Amy Annette on July 4th in the Hyde Park Book Club. I'll be in Brighton on July 6th with Alison Spittle in the Comedia Comedy Club, and I'm going to be doing my own work in progress show in Glasgow on July 12th at Good Egg Comedy. Also then, I will be at the Edinburgh Fringe, of course, for the entirety of August, from July 30th to August 24th. I'll be at the Assembly George's Square, the Crate, 10 to 3 every day. Would love if you could tell anyone you know who's going to be at the Edinburgh Fringe to come see my show. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
What's the best way to reduce? Eat plenty or starve yourself?
30 pounds in just 18 weeks. Jenny Craig totally worked.
I love to eat, but overeating made it impossible to lose weight.
My body wants bread, and I'm going to give my body what it wants.
So I lost naturally.
Medical studies prove that overeating is the number one reason for weight gain. If you need to lose weight, use safe and natural springs away and bring your weight down without the use of the same.
Welcome to Fad Camp, a podcast that throws a comedy eye over our societal obsession of diets. Now, a little disclaimer, we are not health experts, but we are fad diet connoisseurs. I'm your host, comedian Grace Mulvey.
And I'm your co-host, Connor Dowling.
Welcome to Fad Camp.
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Fad Camp. Hey Grace, how's it going?
Oh my God, Connor, I'm so excited to be here today. I don't know why I was so musical with that entry.
Well, we were singing before we started recording, so we must do a musical episode of Fad Camp at some stage.
Oh my God, people would hate that.
We did once do a musical sketch in one of our episodes.
Yeah.
If any of our mega fans are listening who can even tell us which episode that was. I can't remember exactly which episode it was, but we used to...
I can't remember. Oh yeah, I can't remember that as well. Can I just say, me and Connor, we were running a little test, right, where we stopped doing the sketches and we were like, because no one's ever mentioned that they liked them.
Yes. Well, one person did say that it was a friend of mine. It wasn't my mom, but it was like, you know, next.
It was definitely
next
your
in line.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah. It was my best friend, so it was my mom. But she said that she loved the Broem. If you remember, we did a Broem in our Marvel episode, Broetry.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's like a spoken word thing.
Yeah.
Me and Grace loved these sketches, but we didn't hear much feedback from people. If anyone has a favorite sketch, we'd love to hear from them. Like, you know.
Listen,
anybody?
Connor's being so nice about this. Not one person ever complimented us on those sketches. So we were like, do you know what? We'll stop doing them in the podcast, and if anyone ever asks for them, we'll do them again. And not one person since we stopped.
If people start breaking down our doors trying to get us to do the sketch again, we'll relent, we'll give in. But as of yet, that hasn't happened.
It's like we're begging for someone to ask us to do it. You know what? It's less work on our part. So actually now we're like, it's fine. It's totally fine.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. But you know, even though we're not doing that anymore, we're doing a lot of cool new stuff with Fad Camp.
Yes.
Something that we have coming up, we're working with our wonderful network Head Stuff. We're planning out some merch. So that'll definitely be available in the podcast studios where we record. But hopefully we'll be able to get it online. Hopefully some of our international listeners will be able to get their hands on some of the cool merch.
I love merchandise. I'm going to sound really... But I'm like, as a fan of like just... anything. I love a bit of merch. I know it feels like I'm trying to sell here to our listeners, but I just myself.
Guys, if Grace loves merch, you know, then clearly it's good.
I'd love if in this video I'm just decked out head to toe in merch. But honestly, I really, really myself want like a Fad Camp like tote bag or hat or something like that. So that's what we're looking at, guys. Maybe possibly a mug.
We're going to start with tote bags and mugs, and we're going to work our way up to, and I'm not joking when I say this, tank tops, because that's my thing. I love a good tank top.
You love a tank top. You love a tank. I want to then go into creating our own like sort of Goop like website with just us selling like vagina steamers
amazing.
or, you know what I
No,
mean? Like just really toxic diet culture
just
products.
slap
Let's
our
get
name.
people's scales.
Yeah, slap our
We'll
name
put
on anything. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
What else have we got going on, Grace?
Well, Connor, thanks for asking. Seamless. Like, we're such professionals at this now.
And I don't know
basically-
the answer to what you're going to say.
We are currently organising our first live show.
Sorry, I ruined the whole
you do know this.
announcement. Say it again.
Look at how good we've gotten at this. We can't even get one thing out. We are currently organising our first live show. So this is going to be part of the Dublin Fringe Festival in Ireland. So yeah, it's going to be our first live show, hopefully in September. We have a date, but we're still organising out a few of the different kinks. So I can't quite say yet, but anyone who is in Ireland, I was going to be in Dublin at that time, it's in September, please come along. We're doing one and we'll see how it goes from there. You never know, Connor. We might be able to do one in another country. We
could do a world tour. We could do a world tour. So that's for anyone in various timelines in the multiverse. That's September 2023. Just in case it has already happened and it was a major success or failure, and there were many deaths. Or if you're listening in real time and you have a chance to get one of the few tickets, I believe it's going to be an exclusive event with only the best and brightest.
Well, because we don't know if anyone's
Yeah,
going to
it's a small venue. That was my way of saying it. It's a small venue.
Let's go with the smallest possible venue we can get. It's me, Connor's tank top, and then one person is going to be able to come in.
Yeah, so no, I'm super psyched. Grace is obviously a seasoned stand-up comedy professional, so you know, I'm just going to be there for the ride, and I'm going to learn, you know, as we go. She's going to train me. We're going to do a Rocky style
I'm
montage.
going to give you media training.
Yes.
You're going to look like a Fox News presenter by the time I'm finished with you. You're going to be in there with just in a suit and a red tie and just spouting the most hateful stuff you've ever heard.
Wait. That's what I'm hoping for.
No.
So something else that we've been wanting to talk about as well recently is we get so many amazing messages and emails from our listeners. Sometimes we remember to get back to people, and other times we don't remember to get back to people because we're very thoughtless and bad people.
Honestly, the emails sometimes bowl me over so much because they're people are so many of you are really great writers.
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating.
Incredible writers. It's really intimidating.
And we're jealous.
Okay, calm
we're
down.
jealous.
No.
We're like, oh, do you want to write the sketches? Do you want to write the funny ads? They're hard to write.
Not one of them is about the sketches.
Well, we've just been sifting through emails looking for the ones about sketches. Not one.
Begging people to ask us about the sketches. But no, so I honestly sometimes I read them and I you know, we talk about them and we'll just be so bowled over. But yes, to anyone we haven't got back to yet, don't worry. I've been going through the emails. We will get back to you. We read them and we so appreciate them because we are not a big podcast. We're not. Do you know what I mean? So every listener matters so much to us, and the fact that people even on Instagram or Twitter would write to us, we really, really appreciate it.
Totally. And the one that we want to focus on today is from a listener who this particular email did make me teary-eyed. I think I responded to Grace about it and then forgot to respond to the listener until very recently. But this one I found to be quite poignant and quite well written and funny, but it also shined a light on a topic that we've wanted to cover for a while. So we're going to share some background information on this topic and share the actual email in pretty much its entirety.
And Connor, I actually haven't read the email.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, that's great.
So Connor was this email, he had such a great reaction to it that I was like, you know what, I'm not going to read it. You read it to me. I will react in real time, and then you get to present the topic to me.
Yeah, Grace is lying on a chaise lawn going, read me the email, Connor, so that I may react.
While someone feeds me grapes.
Exactly. Sorry, so this is on the very heated topic of fat camps. Okay?
Oh.
And Grace, straight off the bat, I just want to ask you, what term do you find more offensive, right? Fat camp or fat farm?
Okay, first of all, I thought you were going to ask me what turns you on more for some reason. And I was like, Fat Farm, honey. No, okay,
That's for
so
the live
Fat
show.
Camps. That's for the live show. What turns me on? It's a kink heavy show. No, fat camps or fat farms?
Or fit farms.
Okay, well, fit farms can go fuck itself. No, but
You're like, that's the most offensive one of all.
I'd rather you be honest with me. No,
And it's like, so you have a problem with Fat Camp, so that means you're fine with fit farm.
Yeah.
You're like,
No, I think Fat Farm is. Come on, it's again a bit like the Biggest Loser episode where they're all on a ranch losing weight. A ranch where they keep cows traditionally. So Fat Farm is where I'm like, it's the animal link again that I'm like, absolute. Whoever came up with that is a dickhead.
Also on The Biggest Loser, they're on a ranch, but they're not allowed to eat ranch. So that's just devastating. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, but Americans love ranch
I know,
dressing.
we can't deny an American of
they
their ranch.
love a ranch dressing.
Yeah. No, I enjoy quite a lot of ranch when I holiday in the States. I hate adding the term farm, whether it's fit farm or fat farm, because it dehumanizes people.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
fucking turns people into farm animals, which are, like not treated the best. Don't worry, I won't go on a rant. I'm halfway through a coffee, but I won't go on
fuck milk.
Yeah, hashtag fuck milk.
Connor's famous hashtag fuck milk,
which will be on our tote bag. Okay, but these days, the fat camps, I feel like you'd have a hard time getting away with like inviting people to a fat camp. I think people would have a hard time signing up for a fat camp. So we go by names these days of like wellness retreats or boot camps.
Yes.
Fitness holidays are a thing that I was personally considering for a while. You go online, there's these websites and they're like, come to Spain and we'll like work out. And like, they make it look kind of fun. Like, we'll go on a hike and we'll, there's a nutritionist there or whatever. But I think we're all fairly familiar from, films and TV in the 90s these fat camps did originate in America, which we can talk about as well. But, these very American kind of like summer camp styles, which we don't really have that much of in Ireland and the UK, just like us.
We have more like the Gaeltacht, which is like an Irish language camp where you do like, basically you go and do some Irish dance and speak some Irish and get fingered for the first time. That was my experience anyway.
And I never went to the Gaeltacht, so I'm bad at Irish, and it was years before I got fingered.
Yet to get fingered.
Exactly.
Sorry, we've got on a tangent.
Still waiting. So we're familiar with the idea of them, but we actually have like basically a testimonial from a listener, which I'm going to read out shortly. And just to let people know that the first weight loss camps in the United States are believed to be something called Camp Kingsmount, which was established in 1913. By 1913, by Dr. William H.
Around World
Bennett.
War I, they were like, you know what we need? You know what the world needs around World War I? Is a nice little fat camp.
Yeah, sure. There's a food shortage, but like you guys aren't getting any thinner, so like we need to sort this out.
Sorry.
But Grace, you know what was interesting about this fat camp was? It wasn't for adults.
You are no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was.
Don't tell me it was like for cows. It was for kids.
It wasn't even for humans.
It was for the animals. Yeah.
No, Dr. William H. Bennett, located in Massachusetts. It was initially created as a summer camp for overweight boys, and Dr. Bennett was an advocate of physical exercise and proper nutrition, aimed to provide a supportive environment where campers could engage in outdoor activities and learn healthy lifestyle habits. And they all lived happily ever after.
No problems. Never.
Never.
And we never heard of fat again.
Yeah,
it was never,
exactly. They cured it.
It was never a fat person again. Can you believe it? That is mad to me. That 1913, because I just want to point it out. The quote unquote obesity epidemic has been made out to be that it's such a new thing that this exists.
Yeah.
So it's like this thing where like the erosion or like the fact that they've erased fat people from history. Like apparently no one was fat before modern times. And then you're like, but in 1913 they created fat camps. So like, let's be honest here. Like fat phobia has always existed, meaning fat people have always
Yeah,
existed.
absolutely. And like,
You know what I mean?
so often in sort of documentaries when we're getting fatter as a nation, the world is this much
Yeah.
fatter than it was back then. Like, they always cite images of black and white images of thin people,
Yeah.
or like often emaciated people who are like, dying of starvation in like the Great Depression and stuff like that in the like 1920s.
But didn't they look
Yeah,
fantastic?
if the camera had only
Yeah,
panned to the right, you just see like their chubby child, like
being taken away to camp. Yeah. I imagine this doctor just in a car, just grabbing fat kids off the street. Yeah.
So, Grace, I don't know if you saw this movie when you were a kid, but it came out in 1995 and it was called Heavyweights. And the logline is plump kids are lured into joining a posh fat camp with the promise of quick weight loss and good times, only to find that it is a woodland hellhole run by a psycho ex-fitness instructor. And the psycho ex-fitness instructor is Ben Stiller, and he's hilarious. The movie...
How have I never heard of this?
Grace! Oh my God, right. So the movie...
I've never heard of it.
The movie was written by the wonderful Judd Apatow. And,
oh my God.
And it was directed by a guy called Steve Brill, who did like who wrote like the Mighty Ducks movies and a lot of like stuff from our kind of era. And like you'll see a lot of kids from that era. Like I think it has people like Kenan Thompson. It has
oh my God.
Yeah, it has Paul Feig. He's one of the counselors in it. It has lots of familiar faces from that era. And I remember it being kind of like, it's these kids who they're all heavy kids and they go to this, weight loss camp in the summer. And on the first day, the camp is like taken over, like there's some sort of like kind of hostile corporate kind of takeover, and Ben Stiller's character is like installed, and he's a real like mean, like drill instructor type, and
basically every personal trainer we see on TV.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like from The Biggest Loser and everything like that. Yeah.
Now, it's been so long since I've seen it. I would say it's full of, fat jokes and all of that sort of stuff. But overall, it was kind of, like a David and Goliath kind of story, underdog kind of thing, where they have to like, win back their summer camp and, for how it should be. But there was that. And then MTV had a Fat Camp reality show as well, which I was not familiar with, but I've seen trailers for it. And this show looks really interesting and really like,
which probably an episode we need to do
Definitely.
about the show itself. If you're talking about MTV in the 90s, there's absolutely no way this show is not going to be
problematic.
One of the
AF.
most problematic things you've ever seen in your life. Yeah.
So, on to the email from our listener, Asher. So I'll just read it out. I won't try to do any kind of performance because I believe this person is from the UK and I'm not going to try to copy their accent. Grace is nodding. Grace
you know what?
Please don't.
That's an absolutely smart move on your part.
Yeah, I think I deserve a pat on the back for that, to be honest. Like.
I'd love if he comes in with the worst, like twiddle-dee-dee, hello. You know what I mean?
Grace and Connor. Damn it, I did it.
Let's get some bangers and mash. Like, what's funny? Because I live in the UK, I actually would have no problem with you doing it because so many English people take off the Irish accent.
Oh, really?
I say hello to them. Oh, they can't help it.
Yeah.
Like, in fairness, we do sound like leprechauns. But anyway, let's go.
Okay, so the email says, "Hey, Grace and Connor. I've learned a lot about overcoming my own fatphobic thoughts regarding my body from listening to your podcast, which I deeply love and appreciate." Grace is already crying. This is wonderful.
Aww.
I felt compelled to tell you about my own encounter with fat phobia after listening to your podcast, if that's okay with you. It is okay with us. So, Asher says, I was sent to a kids' fat camp in Sheffield back in 2010. It's 2010. It's 13 years ago from today. It was during the summer and was framed as some sort of fun activity course, and my mum bribed me to go by promising she would buy me new workout gear.
Oh.
I chose a lovely velveteen white tracksuit that was blinding in the light and questionable in taste.
I don't think it's questionable at all, Asher. in fact, I think that's the height of sophistication, if you ask me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's also it's one of those things. It's like, I feel like I feel like Asher's statement there is almost kind of loaded in a way, because it's like, I was bribed to go by being promised new workout gear. You know what I mean?
I know. The promise is just like, as long as you keep wanting this, you know, and I've done that where it's like, yeah, like you'll get like more personal trainer sessions if you do this thing. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, yeah.
So with my new athletic wear, I reluctantly agreed to attend the program. They did a bunch of tests before you could enter, which at the tender age of 9, I thought was peculiar for a fun summer camp. 9. That's young. That is quite young. And, you know, it is a time that, you know, we do start to kind of notice, like, you know, your body is kind of changing and you're having like growth spurts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And maybe you've your weight has fluctuated or whatever since you were a kid. It's a difficult time, you know what I mean? So yeah,
it's definitely the time. 9 is definitely when you're starting to become a bit more aware of the world around you, and so also your place in it.
Yes.
So like,
and comparing yourself to your
you start being like, oh, do I look different? Are my you know what I mean? Like, is my background different? Whatever it is,
totally. So. So the tests included a breathalyzer to test my lung capacity, a treadmill session to test my current athleticism, which is dangerous to put a 9-year-old on a treadmill because treadmills account for 99,000% of fatalities every year in Britain. And obviously, all the weighing a Fad Camp could dream of. Oh my God, I'd say they were going to town on weighing these kids. They also did a psychological evaluation and determined I was an emotional eater. Parenthesis, no shit, I was being horrendously bullied at the time, and I was accepted into the program. Yay? Question mark?
Sorry. I don't know. Yay? Question mark. You made it. You're so traumatized. You're allowed in.
You're in. You're in. Imagine they were like, actually, you know what? I don't think we're going to take your parents' money and put you on a diet. You're fine. You're fine to go. Like, you know what I mean?
No, like, because actually what you want to hear is someone go, do you know what? You're just perfect the way you are. We won't take you.
Or they're like, no, we can't help you. I'm sorry, kid. You're on your own. You're already too far gone at the age of 9. I'm sorry.
And I'm going to tell you, this is it for you, kid. It's all downhill from here. This is the best you're ever going to be.
I tell you what, here's $20. There's a McDonald's down the street. Knock yourself out. Why not? You know, enjoy it while you can. Asher continues, it did not stop there though, as the program was going to be featured in an Embarrassing Bodies episode.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Excuse me. No, okay. You're going to have to repeat that. Are you saying that the camp was going to be, or that Asher was going to be?
Asher said, the program, meaning the weight loss program, the summer camp, the one that they were attending, right?
Are you fucking... Sorry. Are you... That is actually... Sorry. I need a moment, because that came out of so left field there.
I know,
Asher,
I know.
Can I just say, an incredible storyteller? Because
this should be a personal essay in the New York Times or something,
listen,
you know.
I was like, white tracksuit. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm getting thrown in that you got into this.
I could feel the texture.
Yeah, I'm like, you're traumatized enough. You'll get more workout gear. I'm getting thrown everything. Then Embarrassing Bodies comes into it.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of how recent this is.
Yes,
2010,
exactly.
it is insane.
Exactly. So, 2010 for us. Right, so Asher would clearly be a bit younger than us. Because when it was 2010, Grace and I would have been sort of out of school out of high school about 3 or 4 years, you know. Yeah. But Asher's 9 at this stage, so you know, Asher seems to be a young enough person that's sending us an email, which means we're cool with young people. So yay,
we're down with the Gen Z.
Asher,
have you seen our TikToks?
Yeah, our tote bag's gonna say we're cool with young people. Yay.
Gen Z are traumatized too, is what it's going to say on the tote bags.
So the camp had previously worked with Gok-Wan to save children from obesity when they should have been focusing on saving people from Gok-Wan statement belts. Another zinger from Asher.
Asher, I'm loving you, babes.
Yeah,
oh my
we gotta
God.
hang out.
Yeah.
So
I will.
So,
also, side note, I used to buy a lot of Gok-Wan's glasses. He did a line with Specsavers.
Wow.
And at the time, it was the height of sophistication in my mind. But I will say, I would imagine now, I would wonder what Gok-Wan would think of this now, because he now is quite a body positive person, I would wonder if he'd look back on how he'd look back.
Yes. Well, I'm very curious from this. Now, this email, the reason I wanted to do an episode was not just because of how great the great content in it, but it has brought up a lot of interesting kind of routes to explore, like in Fad Camp as well. I want to look at embarrassing bodies. I want to look there. Embarrassing bodies have a spin-off series called Embarrassing Fat Bodies. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You were joking. And then obviously from this show, Embarrassing Kids must be another one.
Exactly. Like fatty kitties. You know, it's
embarrassing 9-year-olds for some reason.
Oh my God. But also then Gok Wan, who I was kind of, when I read the email, I was kind of conflating Gok Wan with Embarrassing Bodies, but Gok Wan had a bunch of kind of like, you know, body type shows. But
How to Look Good Naked was his,
How to Look Good Naked, which
Yeah.
I've yet to watch, so that's why I've not achieved that.
I don't need a show to tell me how to look good naked. I just take my clothes off.
Step one.
And then I put a belt around my naked body because that's what Gok would have wanted.
There you go. But I did find that, Gok Wan did write something or speak out about being a heavy child, doing extreme weight loss and kind of having negative results. That's sort of the summary that I know. But Gok Wan did make a documentary called Too Fat, Too Young. So that was about 13 years ago. So I'm curious kind of what the overall kind of vibe of it is, what the intention of it is. I'm sure, you know, this is an evolving thing. Like we can't be kind of, you know, we can't look at something Gok Wan said 13 years ago and go, that's your forever opinion on it.
Well, even look at us, Connor. Like I would look at the two of us and be like, 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh great, let's watch Embarrassing Bodies and let's watch a bunch of 9-year-olds on it.
Yeah, let's get those fat kids into shape.
Yeah, and I would have been like, God, Mom, I wish you would have sent me to this fat camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, obviously, we're different. So I just would wonder, I think we definitely will do an episode on Gok Wan and that whole history. But it is interesting to see how, say, with people like Lizzo coming out and the conversations we're having now, totally different from 10 years ago. Like it's like a different planet we were on.
Totally.
Yeah.
So Asher continues to say, Embarrassing Bodies was following this boy who was also on the program, the weight loss camp, and who apparently could not stop eating. And his mother was very concerned he would get bigger. Although we all signed a contract for it to be aired, I can't find the episode. So I'm guessing it got lost in the fever dream of fat phobia of the early 2000s. I also did look for the episode. Like
really?
I couldn't find it. But also, weirdly, on all four, there's 3 seasons of Embarrassing Bodies available out of the 9. And it's not seasons 1, 2, and 3 or 7, 8, 9. It's seasons 4, 7, and 9. So like, they seem to have. I'd say they are covering their arses, and they're like, get the 9-year-olds off the television. They heard about Fad Camp, and they were like, if Grace and Connor are coming for us, you know, they're gonna call us out.
But I also want to question, really. And I know, listen, there's so much legality around this sort of stuff, and like if your parent or guardian sign something, how much realistically can a 9-year-old consent to something?
No.
To being on TV? And I know this is a bigger question, but it just, there's something about it where I'm like, I know we signed a contract, and I'm like, I just don't know if, I don't know if like, and I know a parent would do it. It's just something where it's like, surely there can be laws where if someone was older and go, actually, I don't want that shown. Do you know what I mean? Like that's, realistically, really.
I mean, to be honest, probably because if you remember a couple of years ago, there was this whole GDPR explosion.
Yeah.
And like everyone was talking about it, and suddenly things were kind of like changing. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, you could go back and be like, actually, I was in the background of that. I didn't really know what it was. My parents signed a thing, but they didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure there could be some sort of, some sort of thing to change that. But Asher says, I did see the end footage though, and luckily only my shoulder was caught in the footage. I suppose no one could avoid that white tracksuit. Oh, Asher. Funny.
I love the cameraman's like, listen, I'm getting a bit of that white tracksuit in shot. I don't care. I don't care if it's the shoulder. I don't care what it is.
Okay, so Ash, so someone at the fat camp, or the weight loss camp, shall we say, was taking part in the Embarrassing Bodies show, and Asher just sort of kind of, witnessed it from a distance. The group, Asher says, was made up of children of all ages, the oldest being 14 and the youngest being 8. Okay? We were taught the basics of healthy eating and how much to eat, which we already knew a lot about. We also had to lay down on a big piece of paper, have someone draw around our body shapes, and then we had to label what we'd like to see improved about our bodies.
I'm just too stunned. Like, that's... Sorry if that isn't even enjoyable listening for anyone, because it's me just not being able to answer. That is the most insane thing I have ever heard. Yeah. It's the fact that you mentioned an 8-year-old as well. Like, how young, 8 to 14. These are such insanely young people. And to do that as an adult now, I'd be like, that's insane. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Do you know what's reminding me of a little bit? I know, Connor, you're a real avid Sex and the City fan, but there's an episode very early on in Sex and the City where it's like Samantha goes to a cosmetic surgeon and plastic surgeon, and she's mentioning about getting one thing done.
Oh, okay.
And then she goes, "What else would you do?" And he starts drawing on her body all the areas. Yeah. And then she looks at herself naked with these like red marker drawings on her, and she breaks down crying. Yeah. But there's something like that where it's like someone being like drawing you out and going, "What do you not like?" To preteens and teenagers and children, basically, which would be traumatizing enough to an adult. And also it's like, fuck you. I just can't. You know what I mean? I know that's not smart rebuttal to anything, but it's like, fuck any adult who turns around to children or teenagers and goes, "What would you like improved on your body?" Like, what if, as if magic by fucking waving a wand, you can take away your stomach. You can't. Even if you lost a ton of weight, chances are you might still have the same type of stomach. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not malleable in that way. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, sorry for the rant. Oh.
And it's also creating kind of obsessions or hang-ups with specific body parts. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's going like, because you talk to anyone, they go, "Oh, I hate this part of my body," or "I wish I had longer this, thinner that, bigger chest," whatever it is,
Listen, I've got arms that I'm pretty sure I could fly with. Do you know what I mean? Like, these things flap. But like, I think that I just think it's the fact that these kids would have said what their problem quote unquote areas were, and adults would have agreed with it.
Oh my God, I hadn't even thought about that. Like, someone's like, "Yeah, I guess this is an area that I need to be improved," and the adult's like, "Yes, excellent." Yes. We all wanted to say that. We were all thinking the same. We're glad you brought it up.
We're glad we drew it out for you there. Yeah, that you could figure it out.
Also, just the very nature of this exercise, like you say, like an adult basically thought this up and sanctioned it, and through some twisted logic, they thought that this would be helpful. Yeah. But honestly, what I see is an adult, maybe someone who has some teacher training or training with children or whatever, and is using a kids game drawing to connect with kids in the way that they think they should be connecting, which is to change their bodies, right? And I think that's just so ill-advised. And I think what I was saying before is about how so many people have kind of specific hang-ups of certain body types. I think it's just fostering that exact behavior. Yeah. It's planting that seed. It's teaching you to hate this part of your body or wish this part of your body was different, rather than, okay, here's a version off the top of my head of that exercise. Lie down a piece of paper, have your friend draw your outline, and then talk about all the things you love about your body. Yeah. Straight away, that's so much more constructive, positive. I don't know what the end goal is, but it's better than whatever the fuck they were hoping for there.
Outline this body and draw it as a ballerina. Or like draw as a pirate, or what do you think you would love to do? This person throwing something, what game would this body play?
Yes.
Because that's what it's about seeing. It's that it's a body that can do many things. What's the best thing about this body? What's the benefits of this body? Because there are benefits to everything.
Absolutely.
Even that creates something so much better that it's like, and we're not in any way experts. We're just like...
Totally.
You know what I mean? I think it's... And I think you're being very fair. In fairness, I know I'm like probably the extreme of it, but you're being very fair to the people where you're like, you know what? To whoever came up with this camp, I'm sure their intentions in some way, they thought they were doing good. Like, I don't think anyone goes out into the world hoping to do bad. Not like many people do anyway. So they thought this was going to be a good thing and they were trying to connect with kids. It's just that obviously through our eyes, with what we know now, with what we're learning, we go, that is just so messed up that like, it's just an archaic way of thinking. But archaic only 10 years ago.
I know.
Like, archaic to the point where I wouldn't have 10 years ago blinked at that. So that's saying something.
That's definitely something. Like, I mean, I feel like that's the type of thing that you see on an episode of Embarrassing Bodies. Like, I haven't really watched that show. There was one episode of it that I did watch out of a specific vested interest, which we'll talk about later. Don't you want to know?
Again, he's like too large a penis. What do I do with it?
Sorry.
I always get him with that joke.
But I feel like that's the type of kind of visual exercise that you would do on a documentary reality show, a weight loss show, because it's visual. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, just the other day I watched an episode of Queer Eye, which we can probably talk about another time. I don't think Queer Eye is particularly problematic, but there was a woman who had a lot of negative self-talk, you know, and Karamo, who's like he's a psychologist and counselor. He got her to write all of her kind of negative self-talk stuff on windows, like panes of glass, like in a wreckage yard, and then got her to like shout like sort of the opposite of those and smash the glass. And like, yeah, who knows how you know beneficial those things are, but it's a visual thing. It looks good on TV. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like this is that kind of thing, but it's not clear that I don't think Asher is saying that that's what Embarrassing Bodies are doing. I'm saying that I think this is what the camp had them do.
The Podcast Studios is the home of the Head Stuff Podcast Network. It's where lots of our shows are recorded and we work on editing, promotion, videos, live shows and lots more. As a podcast production company with 3 state-of-the-art studios for audio and video in Dublin city centre, we can work with you to tell great stories in a professional and engaging way. From government organisations to charities, arts groups to international brands, entrepreneurs to hobbyists, we've worked with everybody and we can help you to get the word out. Whether you need studio time, you're hosting a live stream or webinar, or you need support with editing or marketing, we can tailor a package for you. For more info, head to thepodcaststudios.ie.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the episode. If you want to hear more bonus exclusive content for Fad Camp, make sure to log on to Head Stuff Plus, and for as little as $5 a month, you can support our show and other shows in the Head Stuff Podcast Network and hear exclusive content from Fad Camp. That's bonus episodes, photos, videos. It's a really good time, so we hope to see you there. Now, back to the show.
Right after that, Asher says, a lot of the kids were depressed. No one really spoke. And I recall the 14-year-old in particular keeping to themselves, which you can imagine being 14, you know, you're struggling with your weight and you're in this scenario where you have that little bit more kind of self-consciousness and awareness, maybe than the younger kids. Meanwhile, Asher is here going, one day I'm going to write a masterpiece to the not yet created Fad Camp podcast.
One
9-year-old
day I'm
Asher
going to give Fad Camp a great episode.
But 9-year-old Asher just taking all this in, like, you know, it's such a really interesting lens on the world. You know what I mean? Like, for a 9-year-old, if I was there and I was 9, I would just be going around going, oh, I'm scared, this is shit, I don't know what's going on. You know, but Asher's like, I'm making note of future zingers. So every meeting we would have to trudge up this hill to the gym in pairs. I was partnered with the embarrassing bodies boy, and admittedly, I was a bit starstruck by him. We even had, we even had a little Fad Camp romance and held hands all the way to the gym. Romantic, right?
OMG!
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Anyway, once in the gym, we would be split up according to gender, go get changed, and have a 2-hour session in this room with various ellipticals in it that we alternated between.
Mm-hmm.
I remember crying my eyes out wanting to get off the treadmill. Parenthesis, so many people die on them. No wonder I was scared. Thank you for the Fad Camp shout out, Asher.
I know that we're just telling everyone these things will kill you.
And now we know it's people cry themselves to death. Dehydration just from the tears.
They slip on their own tears on the treadmill and die.
Oh my God.
That's what happens.
This is where Asher really lets loose. So Asher says, I remember crying my eyes out wanting to get off the treadmill while Fight for This Love by Cheryl Cole played in the background.
Oh, do you know what? Asher, like that's actually one of my favorite songs. Like I love that song. I know. I'm gonna. That's an embarrassing. It's embarrassing to admit it, but it's a cracker of a song.
That's so funny. I wish we could afford the rights to play it, but they then say, I still cannot listen to this song without flashbacks, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
They would not let you off the machine until your allotted time was over, which was not very fun summer activity camp of them. Grace.
Yeah.
This is a 9-year-old on a treadmill. You're not allowed on a treadmill at that age. Like, I mean, maybe with fucking supervision or something, but like that, you're not allowed off the treadmill.
Like,
Come on.
absolutely, they should not be at treadmills because, as we know, 100% of 9-year-old fatalities happen on treadmills.
Absolutely.
But also, the allotted time thing is psychotic because even as an adult, if someone is saying to you, "I can't," like I'm done here, like. You immediately stop. It's this weird thing of not listening to people. And this whole thing of like, but with kids to go like, there's the allotted time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could, and like, what a way to cause injuries.
Yeah.
What a way to cause injuries in kids and teenagers. Like, I have a friend of mine who has a bad back ever since she was 17 because of one incident.
Yeah.
So and that's for the rest of her life. And it was such a small thing. So you're telling me that like a 9-year-old couldn't get some sort of like knee injury, back injury, whatever, like by just making them stay on a treadmill past what? Just because they're fat, they're not allowed to admit they have pain? Like it's just...
Yeah, and some glorified PE teachers, they're shouting at them, one size fits all. The 8-year-old stays on the treadmill at the same amount of time as the 14-year-old. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they're developmentally at such different stages. Oh my God, it's actually...
Not only are you risking injury, but you are the real like, you know, damage that is most likely, I think, with a lot of people, is that you're instilling a lifelong aversion to exercise, athletics, fitness. You know, either you may come away from this camp and be like, I love going to the gym now, yay, sign me up. Sorry, you're too young to join a gym.
Insurance-wise, we legally can't cover you on a treadmill.
Like, one day I'm going to turn 16 and I'm going to get that gym. You know, then they're wishing their life away. No, but you know, more than likely, you're going to come away from that being like, okay, I lost fucking 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that again. And, you know, the seeds have been planted there.
I think it's what really kills me, because we were talking about this actually before the recording, Connor, is we were talking about how it's only now I'm starting to get my love back of exercise and exercise I want to do, because for years it was ruined on me with shit like this. It being an example.
Totally.
Doing stuff, it's all for weight loss, never for how you might actually, what sports you like, what you might be good at. All it has to be is like, what's going to make me lose the most amount of fat in the shortest space of time. And so you end up doing these fucking burpees. I talk about, my aversion to burpees. I absolutely hate them. I think burpees have caused most of the crises in our world at the moment. I think burpees are the reason that, I don't know, COVID happened. I blame burpees for everything. I hate them to such a degree.
I hate burpees as well. I don't know if you remember in one of our early episodes, I revealed that a burpee killed my family. Like in my origin story, like
That's how you became Batman.
Yeah.
It's your parents after the opera did burpees and they died.
Yeah.
Any Batman fans out there will love that joke. Okay. But, you know, I recently, right, I know we've done an episode on CrossFit and we've gone into it, but basically at the moment there's this great thing. I'm not going to actually say the name of the company, but basically you can buy these like passes in London and you can go to kind of like tons of different classes and gyms all around London, right?
Oh, cool.
So that's cool. So I've gone to a few like CrossFit classes and I love weightlifting. Like I love like a Olympic style weightlifting. I always have. And I'm really good at like, I'm kind of built for it. Like, do you know when you're like, and I always remember just loving that in the gym, but I just never loved the high intensity stuff. Anyway, I started going back. I done a few of the CrossFit classes as well, right? So the CrossFit classes are a bit of a mix of like doing these weightlifting things, but then also doing like kind of a bit of cardio, you know, a bit of like all this, right? And one of the things I do in CrossFit is that, like, say within like a certain amount of time, you have to try and get as many rounds of different types of exercises done. But now I don't care anymore. And I kind of refuse to do any exercise that I don't enjoy doing. So like one of them was that you have to do something like within the space of like 15 minutes. Not only like all of these different types of like exercises, like throwing a ball or like whatever, weightlifting, but you also have to do 50 burpees at a time. So 50 burpees at a time. Now, Connor, I just was like, in my head, straight away, I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I just won't tell the trainer, I'm just not going to do it. What I'm going to do is 5 burpees and then I'll move on to the next thing. But I didn't tell the trainer that. And I was in a massive class. And this is my first time in this class. This man, every time, I was just flying through the exercises and I could see that look on his face where I don't think he wanted to offend me, but he was like, how is this chubby woman?
She's a burpee machine.
This woman is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of chubby women at the gym. She's killing it. Like and I could tell he was sort of confused because he could see me do a few burpees, but obviously I just wouldn't do the 50 because I actually was like, I could damage myself doing 50 burpees at a time. I think that's stupid. I wouldn't enjoy it, so I'm not going to do it. And I really love that about me now. Like I was really like, I walked out of there and I could tell that guy was like, Jesus Christ, I want to know what that woman's secret is. You know what the secret is? Don't do 50 burpees because that's insane.
In the sitcom version of that, the miscommunication goes further and he brings you up to the top of the class. He's like, this is our best student and she's going to lead us in 100 burpees. And you're like, oh no. The music's too loud.
Yeah. Do you know what my secret is to doing 50 burpees? Is to do 5 and not do any more.
Honestly, Grace, I absolutely relate to that as well. And like, I mean, when I do fitness class as well, literally when they cycle around to an exercise that I'm like, oh, I'm not there yet. That's gonna hurt me. Like that will keep me out of the gym next week if I do the 50 burpees. I will totally do, or I'll do something else in its place. You know that suits me, which is something. To segue back into the letter is something that you're not given the opportunity to do when you're, especially when you're a kid, because you think you have to do the one size fits all thing.
You think you're going to get into trouble. The whole thing is when you're a kid, you think adults, like getting into trouble is the worst thing that's ever going to happen to you in your life when you're a kid. And then as an adult, you're like, why was I so worried about it? Like all they could do was send me to my room. And also like now as an adult, I'm like, oh, those adults were wrong that they were telling you had to do this thing. But unfortunately, it's taken like I'm in my 30s now to be able to go into a gym and go, oh, I'm not going to do the 50 burpees.
Yeah.
Because before I thought I had to do them because if I wasn't doing them, then I wasn't exercising. Because that's actually the mindset that I wanted to say is that because of diet culture and all this stuff, I would think I've cheated myself because that's literally what trainers would say. They're like, oh, you're not pushing yourself. You're not doing it. I'm like, well, I am doing it. Like I'm doing stuff. Like I'm at the gym. I'm working out. I'm throwing the ball. I'm doing the weights. I just don't like doing this one, I think, quite ridiculously insane move 50 times. That, you know what I mean? I don't feel like doing that. And I think that that's the thing where it's like just because you're not doing a workout to the same intensity as a person beside you doesn't mean that you're not working out. Like you're allowed to do the thing that you enjoy. Because I wouldn't keep going back to those CrossFit classes if I had to do 50 burpees at a time. Because why would I? I hate that move.
Because you have to remember that you're not, because okay, what I would say is you have to remember that you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it for your own body, for your own fitness, for your own health, right? But so often in our lives, we're actually losing weight or dieting for somebody else.
Yeah.
A parent, a love interest, you know, a a fitness instructor or
even for a wedding coming up.
Yeah.
You're like, it's for other people to see you. For
Yeah.
Instagram, we're doing
Yeah.
everything is like so that other people can see us do this thing. When actually, if you didn't care about the outside appearance changing much, I wonder what we would do. Like if we actually took a completely disregarded weight loss or how our bodies would change, I wonder actually what things we would do. I wonder what
Exactly.
people would join, what exercises they would do. I wonder if even the amount of like men I see at the gym who are kind of, we talked about the growing obsession and eating disorders in men when it comes to like muscle building and all that stuff. I wonder what sports they'd be doing right now or exercises they'd be doing if that was taken out of it. I wonder if a lot of them would be like, you know what, I'd love to have a lovely stroll in the park. I'd love to do some yoga. You never know. One of them like I've always wanted to do salsa. You never know because we don't allow ourselves.
Yeah.
To
Or
think
even
that way.
just rather than breaking my back doing 100 burpees, I just want to do 10.
And that's what I'm doing, baby girl. And I'm not doing 10. I'm doing 5.
So Asher says the camp itself was named along the lines of any fat camp, like Rainbow Sunset or Sparkle Joy, something fun. I made it through the program somehow, and there was a celebration at the end where we all made a speech and got a trophy for being not fat anymore, I guess. And the Embarrassing Bodies boys sang a rendition of Food, Glorious Food, parentheses, I wish I was lying, Asher says.
Sorry, Food, Glorious Food was the name of it.
Yeah, that's just adding insult to injury. Or it's the best piece of, satire ever. Also, we're just taking everything Asher has said on faith, so maybe this never happened, but I believe them.
I believe
this. I left the program and quickly descended into the realm of disordered eating. And by the time I was entering secondary school, I was restricting to the point where I no longer got my period.
No.
And I was convinced I needed liposuction at 14.
Yeah, I mean, that's just so sobering, isn't it? Like 14 to be thinking of liposuction. I remember, like, the period thing is something that I know we've talked about very briefly before, but I also lost my period and I was in my 20s when that was my motivation days. I lost mine. To hear someone lose their period so young is even more distressing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just sorry that's happened to you, Asher. That's so... But it to be introduced to a fat camp so young and that mentality so young, it just shows you what can happen.
Totally.
You know?
And, to be wanting liposuction by age 14, I feel like a lot of people, listening, myself included, can relate to that, like being a teenager. But what about, and... having this experience at 9 at such a, an impressionable age, and then still not feeling right in your body, still not feeling yourself, that many years later.
Yeah.
It tracks that you would be feeling like, I need to take more extreme measures,
well, you've got no concept of, like, the whole point, like the thing about teenage years is no one gets away with it. Everyone is confronted by their body because their body is changing so much. So the problem is when it comes to fat people, and I say fat people, I'm just using the umbrella term. You could have been, we say that as a very neutral term. You are told from a really young age there's something wrong with you, that you're ill. Like that's what they tell, like that's what you're basically telling fat people. You're ill, you're wrong. There's something wrong with you. So when you tell that to a person who already is going into a stage of their life where their body is going to be like the enemy, which it is for nearly all teenagers because it's going through puberty, what that does to fat people, like we can't even, I don't think, measure the damage that it does to people. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, leads to such extreme things. And I remember looking up gastro sleeves, the bubble thing you might put in. I can't remember what it was. Looking at adult fat camps when I was in my 20s that cost thousands. And and that was me in my 20s. Like, so a teenager, like, of course, like it's really the only way it's going to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? What else is going to happen?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It really does just bring up so much, you know, for me as well. Like, I mean, and yeah, I can imagine aspects of it, you know, but I can't imagine like at that age, you know, having such a light shone on it, like, you know.
Yeah.
But to continue on, Asher says, it was only in the last 2 years that I've been able to abandon the things I learned from the Fad Camp, from the camp and other problematic socialization. But I did ask my mother recently if she regretted ever sending me there, and she told me no, because you were being bullied for your weight and you were so miserable. I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is I understand that. I understand that response. You know, it's a tough situation. But Asher replied to their mother's statement, I just needed someone to tell me I was okay and there was nothing wrong with my body. Which is, that's a great sentiment. I think we can all kind of learn from that for sure. It is still an ongoing joke in my family that she sent me there, and it doesn't bother me as much as it did these days. I understand where my mum was coming from. When you're a bigger kid or adult, you become a problem to be fixed and never something that could just be. I am sad that I spent a whole summer being taught to hate my body when I should have been having fun being a kid, you know? I feel fat kids are cheated out of their childhood in that respect, which is very true. Cheated out of your childhood and then cheated out of your adult years as well, because as Christy Harrison calls it, diet culture is the life thief, you know?
Yeah. And actually cheated out of your teenage years, I would argue as well.
Totally.
Because when you're a fat teenager, or if you were a fat kid, if you were given the body image issues early, you kind of take yourself out of the running as a teenager, I find. Like, I took myself out of the running in a romantic way, in every possible. Like, I was like, oh, I'm not in it. I'm not a main character. I'm a side character. That's what you do to yourself.
Right. Yeah, you recast yourself in your own life.
Oh, you totally recast yourself, because you're like, oh, well, I'm not in the running.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Hell. Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to mention about the, you know, with Asher's mum and everything like that, you know, I think, you know, even thinking about all the parents at that time, like, it must have been so hard to watch your child be bullied, and like, I was the exact same way, and I think, like, we know what we know now, but like, I think they were probably maybe the first generation of parents to be where the pressure was on them to do something, where they're like, you think they're talking to experts, like, not people trying to make loads of money, but they think they're talking to experts who are like, this is what needs to be done, and they think that that's what needs to be done. So I think now, hopefully, things are getting better and people have more information. But like, I could totally see like how someone would choose to go do that. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like, I bought into so much stuff in my teen years, and my parents did as well, that they thought this might help her, this might make her feel better. You know.
Absolutely, you know, and I think you're totally right that, like, our parents' generation, they were kind of getting a lot of this sort of secondhand diet stuff and being told, like, you know, that kids were getting fatter and, you know, the obesity epidemic was upon us and all of that, and they didn't really have the resources. They definitely didn't have the internet, you know what I mean, to, you know, go and really, like, in-depthly kind of research it or find different communities that could offer other solutions. And, you know, a lot of the time, I think, people's parents were kind of like, just, I guess, doing what they thought was best. But, like, you know, I think, everyone can, you know, relate to that in, like, how I think they wish their parents did something differently, you know?
And I will say, and, you know, I had a great auntie of mine, great auntie Carmel, who used to give me packets of minstrel chocolate in her bag. But she would always, and I remember this so distinctly, if anyone talked about my weight or me in a way that wasn't flattering, she would tell them to shut up. And she would literally come down to my eye line and be like, you're perfect. Like, you're perfect as you are. Amazing. And you're talking about a woman who's like, if that's my great auntie, that was my dad's auntie. Yeah. So, you know, you're talking about a woman in her 60s, 70s, in the 90s, like, being like, you're perfect, don't change. Yeah. But I know now that my great grandmother was a fat woman, her mother. And I think that she was like, sure, my mom, and her mom, like, was a trailblazer. So I think she was just like, no. So it is as well. I'm like, as much as I understand, but there was also, I think, just she was like, I'm not having anyone say this to her, and that I was like, I don't think there was anyone else who was kind of in that train of thought at that time, you know. And I'm very lucky to have had
Absolutely.
that. You know,
that's amazing that you had that. Yeah, and it kind of also goes to show that, like, you know, where people are from and what generation they're from, it's not just a total excuse. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's not
well,
they're from different generations. Like, well, clearly there's, like, you know, there were people who had more kind of like, you know, positive and constructive beliefs. But yeah, just to finish off Asher's email, Asher finishes by saying it's a constant struggle, like you guys have said in your podcast, Fad Camp. I added that in just in case people forgot what they were listening to for this past hour.
they're like, this episode of This American Life has really gone off the hinges.
I know. Oh wait, are we on Fad Camp? Oh shit. Okay, hang on.
I thought this was a crime podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, when does when are they
getting
nutritionists
murdered?
get killed in the Fat Camp? Like that's what I want to know. But Asher quotes us and says, you know, like, we'll say, I'll hate my body one day and then decide, you know, the next day, fuck diet culture. However, when I experience feelings of self-loathing, it's as if those emotions are visiting from another time and place in a body that has nothing to do with the one I currently inhabit. I grieve for my child self that was sent there, but I'm teaching myself how to just live and exist in the world now. Your podcast has been a huge influence on that journey. Just going to keep all of the compliments in the email.
Asher has yet to mention the sketches.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the PS? I bring back the sketches, Asher. Come on.
Hashtag no one cares.
Yeah. In its current incarnation, the camp only takes on kids aged 10 to 17, but still persists to this day. To lean through with a bit of irony, here's a quote from their philosophy. We sincerely believe that this humanistic, holistic approach will enable young people not only to lose weight, but to enter the adult world in a more confident and assertive manner, regardless of their size or shape. Please keep up the fantastic work, guys, and thank you warmly, Asher.
Oh, I think before we even comment any further, I would love to know what the camp stats are. Like, as in, like, if this camp has been going for so long, surely they would have been keeping up with their alumni and being like, hey, if you can, like, if their whole goal is weight loss or whatever it is, there must be some sort of statistic they are using. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, or else they're just not bothering.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'd just like to say, like, again, many thanks to Asher for sharing
thank you so much, Asher.
Their personal, poignant and also funny story, which I think is very on brand for Fad Camp. And and I want to acknowledge as well that, like, you know, I can relate and empathize with, you know, the pain and shame that, you know, kids and families experience that end them up in a fat camp situation. You know, it's not easy. And no matter how much, you know, I sit here and say, like, you know, you're fine just the way you are, or like, you know, like, it still hurts. It still hurts to be bullied, and it hurts, you know, when people kind of make you feel less than for your size. So I understand that people are going to want to, you know, find solutions. I hope there are better solutions today for young people to help them, you know, without weight loss sort of being the primary goal, but like, you know, things that can help them, you know, feel good in their bodies and feel healthy and all of those things, and help their families kind of accept, you know, that this is kind of the situation. And let's not put all of the pressure on the fat people. Let's hope that people stop giving fat people a hard fucking time, because
but this is it. It's, you know what, as well, because like I totally agree. Like I don't have kids. I don't know how difficult. Like, it must be heartbreaking to watch your child be bullied, and for their weight, which has been made, which society has told you is a personal fault, and so therefore a personal fault of the parents also. It's actually really, unfortunately, a societal change that has to happen, because it is more fat representation in our media, more fat representation in movies, and positive, like just positively seeing fat people exist. Like, hopefully it can't just be Lizzo out there being the only beacon who's like, hey, look, and people look up to her and that's great. But she has to then take a tirade of abuse. It has to be that we all like look around us and look at all the fantastic fat people that are in our lives, because we all know people who are fat. Even if you're not one, there's someone in your life who's fat who you love and like, probably. Like, that's what it's all about. And for young kids then to see that it just drips through. Like, it has to, you know.
And one thing I will say as well is that, like, I think when someone's child is heavy, you know, I think the excuse a lot of people give for wanting their child to go on a diet or go on some sort of extreme exercise thing is they're worried that the child will be made fun of. Okay. We can't control what their classmates, you know, do. We can't control the, you know, passive aggressive or hurtful comments that come from, you know, the outside world, but we can control how we treat them at home. You know, we can be good to our kids. We can have no like, you know, backhanded compliment or comments or, you know, less kind of pressure in the home and more kind of positive and constructive talk around that. That's one thing that we can control. And I think because of societal fat phobia, it just permeates the home. And when you're a heavy kid at home, you end up getting so much of that pressure from your siblings, from your parents and that, because they've also kind of been brainwashed, you know.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Fad Camp. As always, we want to thank our producer, Darren Lee. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to review us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Great ratings and reviews really help more people find the show, and it would mean a lot to us.
Make sure to share the episodes with friends and family or on your social media. Every listen helps.
And we absolutely love hearing from our listeners, so please get in touch with any of your diet stories on fadcamppodcast@gmail.com.
A hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Headstuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.